What you're about to hear will change everything you thought you knew about the rise of Cardi B. From the streets of the Bronx to the top of the rap game, her journey wasn't just talent, it was strategy, grit, and controversy. But now Kanye West is breaking his silence, revealing the untold story behind her meteoric ascent. Why did the industry really take notice? Who backed her behind the scenes? And what shocking moves did she make that even her fiercest rivals couldn't predict? Critics say she's unstoppable, fans call her a queen, and insiders claim there were secrets, rivalries, and power plays that shaped every moment of her rise. In the next few minutes, we'll go behind the velvet ropes of fame into boardrooms, studios, and private conversations places the cameras never go. You'll hear the whispers, the advice, and the decisions that made Cardi B a global icon. But here's the twist. Kanye's revelations aren't just about her. They expose the mechanics of an industry built on influence, alliances, and drama. And what he's about to reveal? It could shake the very foundations of hip-hop as we know it. So buckle up, because by the end of this story, you won't just see Cardi B's rise. You'll see the hidden forces that made it possible. And you'll wonder, did she play the game or did the game play her? The world thinks they know Cardi B, the Bronx girl with the unstoppable flow, the unapologetic attitude, the queen of TikTok, Instagram, and Billboard charts. But what if everything you thought you knew was only the tip of the iceberg? Kanye West, the man who built empires, challenged the industry, and reshaped hip-hop itself, is now speaking out. And what he's revealing isn't just about Cardi. It's about the hidden gears of the rap world. The unseen forces, the alliances, the backroom deals, and the raw ambition that nobody talks about on camera. It all started years ago. Before the Grammys, before Bodak Yellow, even before social media became the ultimate launchpad. Cardi was hustling, grinding, posting videos in her apartment, but the industry? They weren't ready to take her seriously. Labels saw her as a novelty, a social media star, but not a rap icon. Enter Kanye. Known for spotting talent before the world does, he saw something different. He saw strategy. He saw a mind capable of navigating chaos, a personality that could dominate the spotlight, and an instinct for creating cultural moments. But he also saw the obstacles. Industry gatekeepers, rival artists, and executives who underestimated her because of where she came from and what she represented. Kanye recalls the first meeting. A small studio, dim lights, a beat playing in the background. Cardi walked in, not with an entourage, not with flashy jewelry, just her energy, raw, magnetic. He describes it like a storm entering the room. Unpredictable, unstoppable, impossible to ignore. I knew, he says, that if anyone could survive the politics, the pressure, and the predators of this industry, it was her. But it wasn't luck. Cardi B didn't just get there by being loud or viral. She learned the rules and she bent them. She understood the power of narrative, the influence of media, the subtle ways to shift public perception. Kanye points out moments that the casual fan misses. The interviews, the timing of her releases, her viral clips, every move calculated, almost chess-like. And then there were the alliances. Kanye highlights how industry veterans, producers, and influencers quietly positioned her, offering mentorship, guidance, and platforms to amplify her presence. He names names, dropping hints that some of the biggest moves in her early career weren't just organic, they were engineered. But not in a manipulative way. Kanye frames it as strategic support, giving her tools to survive the cutthroat industry. Yet even with support, the opposition was fierce. Established artists doubted her, executives mocked her, and critics questioned her authenticity. Every challenge became a stage for her resilience. Kanye emphasizes this. Cardi's rise wasn't about talent alone. It was about grit, timing, and knowing how to fight while smiling. He also reveals an insight few people discuss: Cardi's ability to turn controversy into momentum. Every feud, every hot headline, every online debate about her persona became fuel for her rise. It wasn't accidental. Kanye describes her instinct for understanding human psychology, public perception, and the viral potential of conflict. And now, as he speaks, it becomes clear. Cardi B's ascent wasn't just her story. It was a collision of strategy, mentorship, and the relentless beating heart of New York hustle. Every viral clip, every award, every chart-topping hit carried traces of battles won behind closed doors, battles the public never saw. But part one ends here, with a chilling insight Kanye drops. If you think you know Cardi B's rise, you haven't seen the half of it. There are moves, decisions, and secrets even her fans couldn't imagine. And some of them are still unfolding. The camera pans to the empty studio, lights flickering. In the background, the faint echo of a beat plays, a reminder that behind every triumph lies a storm of unseen forces. And just as the screen fades to black, Kanye's voice cuts through. The game is bigger than music. And Cardi, she's playing it better than anyone expected. What you just heard is only the beginning. In part 2, we'll dive into the explosive feuds, the secret collaborations, and the shocking industry betrayals that almost derailed her. Allies turned enemies. Deals went sideways. And at the center of it all, Cardi B, calculating, relentless, unstoppable. The music industry isn't just about talent. It's a battlefield. And for Cardi B, every step up the ladder came with a fight she didn't ask for, but one she knew she had to win. Kanye West doesn't hold back in revealing the storm that raged behind the scenes. And it's unlike anything the public imagined. Before she was a household name, before the flashy red carpets and sold-out arenas, Cardi faced a network of rivals determined to crush her ascent. Established artists dismissed her. Producers hesitated. Executives questioned her staying power. They wanted her to be a one-hit wonder, Kanye recalls, his voice low, measured, almost grim. But she had plans they couldn't see. One feud stands out, a clash that almost derailed her career. A high-profile artist saw Cardi as a threat, mocking her on social media, spreading whispers in boardrooms, and trying to undermine her credibility. Kanye describes the tension in that room: heated phone calls, veiled threats, and managers scrambling to contain the fallout. But Cardi? She thrived in chaos. Every insult, every slight, every smear became ammunition. She learned to turn controversy into momentum, drama into art. Kanye also reveals the behind-the-scenes chess game with media outlets. Every interview, every viral clip, every subtle social media post was carefully analyzed and strategically timed. Critics argue this was manipulation, but Kanye frames it as survival. In an industry that eats talent alive, exposure, positive or negative, can be the difference between stardom and oblivion. Then came the secret collaborations. Kanye hints at unpublicized sessions with top producers, artists, and industry veterans who quietly guided her moves. It wasn't charity, he warns. It was a strategy. If you're going to rise, you need allies, but only the sharp ones, the ones who see the battlefield the same way you do. These were alliances forged in smoke-filled rooms, whispered agreements and creative risks few understood. But the story isn't all calculated moves. There were emotional moments too. Cardi faced personal betrayals, friends who turned away, managers who prioritized profit over loyalty, and colleagues who underestimated her. Kanye recounts nights where Cardi would break down after hours in the studio, exhausted but unbroken, her fire still burning. She learned fast, he says, and she studied hard. Fans may only see the glitz, the Grammys, the fashion shows, the viral dances, but Kanye's account exposes the raw struggle. It was the leaked demos, the canceled contracts, the near misses that almost crushed her momentum. But these moments built resilience. They shaped her persona, sharpened her instincts, and made her nearly untouchable in an industry where few survive. Then there's the social media battleground. Cardi B didn't just post content, she controlled narratives. Viral moments weren't accidents. Every clip, every reaction, every feud amplified her visibility. Kanye explains how she used controversy as currency, turning online attacks into opportunities for growth, engagement, and dominance. Each viral moment strengthened her position, forcing critics to pay attention, forcing rivals to respect or fear her. The stakes escalated when rival labels tried to pressure her into compromising deals. Kanye describes tense meetings, whispered negotiations, and near breakdowns in private boardrooms. Cardi refused to bow. She pushed back, challenging executives, challenging norms, and proving that her success wasn't negotiable, it was inevitable. But part 2 crescendos with the most shocking revelation. Kanye hints at a betrayal that shook her inner circle. An unnamed collaborator, someone trusted, attempted to leak private sessions and creative strategies to competitors. It was a move that could have ended her rise before it truly began. Cardi found out just in time, and what followed was a reckoning, a confrontation, a lesson in loyalty, and a statement that anyone attempting to undermine her would face consequences. The picture is clear. Cardi B's rise wasn't luck. It wasn't luck, virality, or catchy hooks alone. It was a calculated storm, a fusion of talent, strategy, and sheer willpower. And Kanye's revelations show the human cost behind the empire, the betrayals endured, the feuds navigated, and the pressure cooker environment that shaped her into one of the most powerful figures in modern music. The drama escalates further. The industry begins to react publicly. Rival artists strike back, fans clash in viral debates, and secrets from the boardroom threaten to become headlines. Every alliance, every feud, every calculated move reaches a tipping point, and Kanye warns, "What you've seen so far is the prelude." The next chapter? That's when the real game begins. When the world starts to understand just how much was at stake and how close it came to unraveling. The camera fades on Cardi in a studio, headphones on, beats pulsing. Sweat on her brow, eyes focused, determination etched into her every move. This isn't a star coasting on fame. It's a fighter, a strategist, a phenomenon in the making. And as the screen cuts to black, the narration lingers. The rise of Cardi B wasn't just music. It was a war. And she's winning it, one battle at a time. The battlefield is no longer behind closed doors. Now the fight is public, messy, and unrelenting. By the time Cardi B's rise reached mainstream headlines, the industry was in chaos. Critics, rivals, and pundits all weighed in, their voices merging into a storm of speculation, envy, and outrage. Kanye West's revelations paint a portrait not of luck or hype, but of a woman navigating a minefield while the world watched. It starts with the feuds. Rival artists, once indifferent, began to sense the threat Cardi posed. Social media became the arena. Twitter threads exploded with comparisons. Instagram posts subtly shaded her fashion, her performances, even her lyrics. Every viral clip, every diss track, every clever punchline became ammunition in an ongoing war. Kanye describes watching these moments unfold, astonished at the precision with which Cardi leveraged each attack. She turned every jab into momentum. Every insult became a platform, he says. Fans became soldiers in this digital war. They trended hashtags, defended her in comment sections, and sent viral videos into overdrive. The public was polarized. Some revered her rise as unstoppable. Others decried her as manufactured, a calculated product of strategy. Kanye emphasizes that while her detractors fought to dismantle her credibility, Cardi was always 2 steps ahead, manipulating perception like a seasoned chess master. But it wasn't all online. Major media outlets began investigating her backstage dealings. Paparazzi followed her everywhere. Leaks surfaced, emails, studio sessions, whispered meetings. Each revelation threatened to tarnish her image, yet Kanye reveals a pattern. She controlled the narrative with near-obsessive precision. Cardi's team responded immediately, releasing counter-stories, clarifying rumors, and sometimes letting controversy amplify her brand. Meanwhile, the boardrooms were a battleground of their own. Executives, managers, and producers who had doubted her earlier tried to undermine her contracts. Secret negotiations threatened to redirect profits, delay releases, or even sabotage her collaborations. Kanye recounts tense meetings where the air was thick with frustration, resentment, and greed. Yet Cardi, guided by her instincts and strategy sessions with trusted allies, refused to yield. She knew where she wanted to be, and she wouldn't let anyone or anything stop her, Kanye explains. Then came the most explosive moments, live performances that turned into public statements. Rival artists attempted surprise appearances, disses during award shows, and orchestrated snubs. One infamous incident at a high-profile music gala had Cardi's rivals whispering plans to overshadow her. But she used the chaos to dominate the spotlight, turning what could have been humiliation into a viral moment that further cemented her influence. The narrative escalates when Kanye reveals betrayals that hit closest to home. Former collaborators, once allies, leaked private studio recordings. They hoped to exploit vulnerabilities, hoping to slow her momentum. But Cardi confronted them directly, face-to-face, in private sessions that Kanye describes as intense, strategic, and decisive. Loyalty, he notes, is the only currency that matters in this industry, and she had learned that lesson the hard way. Even her personal life became public fodder. Rumors about relationships, family drama, and lifestyle choices dominated tabloids. Yet Cardi turned personal attacks into narratives of empowerment. Kanye emphasizes the brilliance of this approach, turning vulnerability into strength, criticism into publicity, and controversy into opportunity. It's a delicate balance. One misstep could have ended her reign, but every calculated decision brought her closer to dominance. Meanwhile, the fans' loyalty created unprecedented pressure on the industry. Social media campaigns, viral challenges, and collective outrage forced record labels and collaborators to take notice. Kanye highlights how Cardi's rise disrupted traditional power structures. It's not just her talent, it's her ability to mobilize people to create cultural moments that can't be ignored, he says. The old guard struggled to adapt to this new reality, and every miscalculation amplified her power. Kanye also sheds light on the emotional toll. The constant battles, public scrutiny, and high stakes were exhausting. Cardi spent sleepless nights in the studio, her focus unwavering even as whispers of doubt surrounded her. Behind the glitz and glamour, she faced intense pressure, personal, professional, and societal. Yet she remained resilient, transforming obstacles into opportunities, pain into performance, and critique into influence. Crescendos with a revelation that shakes the industry. A planned collaboration between two major rivals was leaked to Cardi's team, who quickly capitalized, turning the moment into a cultural phenomenon that would dominate headlines for weeks. Kanye describes the strategy. She didn't just survive the storm, she orchestrated it. She used their moves against them and everyone was watching. The story is clear. Cardi B's rise isn't a fluke. It's the product of skill, strategy, and an unbreakable will. The media frenzy, industry sabotage, and public feuds were all part of a larger game she mastered. And yet the tension is palpable. Every victory has a cost. Every moment of triumph invites scrutiny. Every calculated move carries risk. Kanye's narration leaves one truth undeniable. Cardi B isn't just a star. She's a phenomenon who redefined the rules of the rap industry. And as the screen fades, the narration teases what's the ultimate showdown, where alliances fracture, the stakes skyrocket, and the full extent of Cardi's empire and her enemies' desperation is revealed. The camera lingers on Cardi, headphones on, pen in hand, preparing for another session. Sweat glistens on her brow. Her eyes are fierce. The music swells, and the narrator's voice cuts through the tension. This isn't just fame. This is war. And the battlefield? The entire rap industry. The tension has reached its breaking point. The industry, once dismissive, is now in full-blown crisis mode. Cardi B stands at the epicenter of a storm she didn't create, but she's the only one prepared to survive it. Every rival, every executive, every critic is watching, calculating, waiting for a misstep. And yet, Cardi's moves are deliberate, calculated, and unpredictable. Kanye West reflects on what's unfolding. This is the culmination. Every strategy, every feud, every viral moment, it all comes together now. The stakes are higher than ever, and the world is watching. He pauses, letting the weight of the statement sink in. It begins with alliances shattering. Former collaborators, sensing her dominance, attempt to break free from contracts, leak private material, and manipulate public perception. But Cardi, anticipating every move, turns these betrayals into viral narratives. The leaks intended to harm her only amplify her reach. Every tweet, every clip, every story becomes evidence of her genius, her resilience, her unshakable presence. Meanwhile, the media frenzy explodes into chaos. Headlines scream, "Industry in shock." Cardi B unstoppable. Rivalries reach fever pitch. Social platforms are ablaze with debates, fan wars, and commentary from every corner of the world. Ordinary people weigh in, their loyalty forming an army that propels her influence beyond music into culture itself. Kanye notes, it's more than rap. It's a movement, and the old rules don't apply anymore. The rival artists attempt one final strike, a coordinated public appearance meant to overshadow Cardi's latest release. Cameras are flashing. Cameras are rolling. The air is thick with tension. But when Cardi enters, calm, confident, unapologetic, she rewrites the narrative instantly. The crowd erupts, cameras capture every moment, and her rivals are left scrambling for control. What was supposed to be her downfall becomes her greatest triumph. Kanye explains the secret behind her rise: strategy, instinct, and unrelenting confidence. Cardi anticipates every betrayal, converts every challenge into leverage, and channels every emotion, anger, envy, doubt, into her artistry. She doesn't just react, Kanye says. She controls the story, molds the chaos, and turns opposition into opportunity. But the climax is not only public, it's personal. Behind the scenes, tensions between her team and former allies threaten to fracture. Negotiations break down. Threats are exchanged. The stakes are real. Millions of dollars, reputations, and influence hang in the balance. Yet Cardi navigates it all with calculated precision, understanding that perception is power, and momentum is everything. Then comes the final blow to her rivals, a surprise collaboration that nobody anticipated. The track drops online without warning, shattering expectations, dominating streams, and creating cultural waves. Critics who predicted her decline are forced to retract statements. Fans erupt in celebration. The industry is left scrambling to adjust. Kanye reflects, "That moment proved everything. She wasn't just surviving, she was defining the future of rap." And still, the tension persists. Because with success comes scrutiny. With power comes envy. With influence comes resistance. The final scenes are almost cinematic. Cameras capturing her backstage, exhausted but exhilarated, reflecting on the battles won and the ones that still lie ahead. Kanye adds, "The war isn't over. The battles continue, but she has proven she's untouchable, unstoppable, and undeniably brilliant." Crescendos with one final revelation. Cardi B's rise has not only rewritten the rules of the rap industry, it has exposed the weaknesses of those who underestimated her. Old hierarchies are shaken. Trust is fractured. Alliances are broken. The future of the industry itself is uncertain. And the world waits, watching every move, knowing that the next chapter could change everything. The camera pans over a city skyline at night, lights flickering like spotlights on a stage. The music swells. Cardi's silhouette moves across the studio floor, headphones on, pen in hand. The screen fades to black, leaving only the echo of a question that lingers in the air. What comes next when the queen has claimed her throne?